The man poured molten lava, burning at over 2000 degrees, straight into his arm. He drilled 3 steel spikes into his body, then locked an iron collar around his neck. As the choking sensation grew stronger, his entire body was consumed by molten fire. It wasn't torture, it was survival. This was his only hope, his final test of endurance. But this nightmare didn't begin today. It started days ago. Back during the Industrial Revolution, a new kind of monster appeared. They were called Kebane, steel-clad zombies. Their hearts were protected by iron shells. Ordinary weapons couldn't kill them. One bite was all it took. Within minutes, the victim would turn into one of them. The infection spread like wildfire. The world collapsed almost overnight. Humanity built massive fortresses to survive. Towering walls surrounded every settlement. The only way to travel between fortresses was on armored steam locomotives. If a fortress fell, survivors boarded the train and fled. But even on the train, death was never far behind. Kebane swarmed the tracks. They clawed at the cars. They slipped through cracks to bite passengers. And if you were bitten, you strapped explosives to your chest and blew yourself up before you could turn. Every arrival at a new fortress meant the same routine. Strip down, get inspected. Any hidden wound meant instant death. Jack, a locomotive repairman, had been secretly working on a weapon, a gun powerful enough to pierce the Kebane's armored heart. One day, chaos erupted. Another fortress had fallen. A train carrying survivors rushed into Jack's city. Everyone was forced into inspection. Suddenly, a man broke free. Soldiers shouted that he was wounded. Panic spread. They surrounded him, ready to pull the trigger. Jack stepped forward. He reminded them infected people needed 3 days of observation before execution. But the commander shoved him aside. Soldiers beat him to the ground. A single gunshot ended the man's life. Jack was thrown into a cell. That same night, disaster struck again. A second locomotive arrived. But when the gates opened, it wasn't survivors inside. It was thousands of Kebane. The train smashed through the walls. An explosion shook the entire fortress. Before anyone could react, the Kebane poured in. People were ripped apart in seconds. In the chaos, Jack broke free from his cell. He sprinted to his home. Inside was his secret weapon, the piercing gun. He aimed at the door, waited. When the Kebane stormed in, he fired. The bullet punched through their armored hearts. They dropped instantly. For the first time, Jack felt hope. But then, he saw blood dripping from his own hand. He had been bitten. The virus spread quickly through his veins. But Jack refused to surrender. He grabbed a piece of molten metal, pressed it against his infected arm, fused it into his body. If the virus couldn't reach his brain, maybe he still had a chance. Every breath was a battle against suffocation. His body burned. But his mind replayed every memory of his family. Every reason he had to keep fighting. Finally, the infection vanished. His body rejected it. Jack had done the impossible. He survived. He had conquered the Kebane virus itself. Now the real question is, if you lived in a world overrun by zombies, how far would you go to make yourself stronger? Possible rhetorical question titles.